This is News at 8.
Hello there and a warm welcome to Joy News at 8 with me, Gifty Ando up here. We'll tell you all that we have in the next 60 minutes after this break. Ahead in the bulletin, we have the latest Afrobarometer survey revealing that corruption has increased over the years, with police officers being the most corrupt. So while the police has been cited as the most corrupt, we also ask you, have you ever corrupted the police? Polytechnic teachers are threatening to take a drastic action if government fails to pay their book and research allowance. While power supply is improving in presidential areas, industries are yet to feel the pinch of irregular power supply. And on the international front, President Kenyatta is replacing his security chiefs. These are many more, including sports and showbiz, coming up. Please stay with us. Let's take a look at the details now. The latest Afrobarometer survey reveals that corruption has increased over the years, with police officers being the most corrupt. A large section of the populace, however, believe that government has performed poorly in fighting corruption.
Revelation is worrying that there is so much mistrust among democratic institutions that government has performed woefully in fighting corruption. Police officers top the corruption chart with 89%, followed by Parliament with 86%, according to the Afrobarometer survey. Judges and magistrates had 85%, officials of the Ghana Revenue Authority had 85%, and district chief executives had 84%, whilst the president and officials at his office had 83%. Local government representatives had 83%, and officials of the Electoral Commission had 81%, business executives 82%, with traditional leaders drawing 78% and religious leaders 69%.
Over time, the proportion of citizens who express little or no trust in public institutions and officials increased significantly. Most Ghanaians believe that corruption has increased in the past year and that government has performed poorly in fighting this canker.
The survey, however, shows that whilst 34% of the respondents perceived government can fight corruption, only 37% of them also believed the opposition can do the job, leaving so much trust in the hands of the ordinary Ghanaian.
20% even say that neither the ruling nor the opposition parties can fight corruption. More than half of citizens also believe that ordinary people can make a difference in combating corruption.
This, the Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition campaign feels, should send a strong signal to politicians.
It's about time that as a nation we wake up, sit down and then rally around the issues and see how we are going to resolve them. When people say they don't have trust in the institutions, they mean they don't have trust in the people, they don't have trust in the work they do, they don't have trust in the output and the results. So it's very worrying to see that we don't trust in the police, parliament, tax officials. It is very worrying, and I think it's a wake-up call on all of us.
The survey puts Parliament second on the chain of corrupt public institutions.
We sit down and do serious deliberation as to what we do about our image, because the image of the most important institution in democracy is now at the lowest ebb. and we cannot allow it to go.
But the good news is that a huge task has been entrusted in the hands of the ordinary Ghanaian to fight corruption. What can you and I do to fight this canker? Aisha Ibrahim for Joy News.
Meanwhile, the Afrobarometer survey also discloses the public now has so much trust in the military. Anti-corruption agencies and politicians are rather worried about this trend. They say it is a threat to the democracy that the country is currently enjoying.
The most alarming revelation, perhaps, is the fact that the public now show more trust in the military, even though they categorically stated that they do not want a return to military rule. For many, this is very worrying.
The only public institution that enjoys a substantial level of trust is the military. More than half of Ghanaians, that is 56%, say they trust the military somewhat or a lot.
Very worried about that, and as the researchers say, CDD said they're going to do further interrogation of that particular finding, because if people are saying we've moved away from military regimes for some time now, about 20 years now, and we have all the democratic institutions, the police, parliament and all that, and we are saying we don't trust this one, but we are going back, or we are trying to trust those institutions, then it's a wake-up call for us to say what is actually fueling, what is actually contributing to this trust in military that we actually had little engagement with. It can also mean people don't really know. They don't even know what, and as somebody said, what is it that they trust the military about? It's what we should be finding out. We should do further interrogation into this subject, because it's very important and it's actually a threat to our democracy.
Military government is not the best. Rawlings came on the platform 1981, 79, then 1981. When he came, they collected money from people, the public, accounts number 48. Ask yourself, where is that money? What I'm saying is that Egypt is fighting to come to this system. We have it and we want to go back. And there is no government. It's a warning that I'm giving to myself and everybody. Whoever supports the military against a civilian regime is making a mistake.
I'm worried, still I'm worried about that. That generally people are having trust in the military as against parliament. Because we know where we came from. We know what things we did against public institutions. And today, public institutions are coming up. And our perception to go back to those other institutions, I am so much worried.
Aisha Ibrahim for Joy News.
Now let's do some education stories, because polytechnic teachers want government to make good on its promise to pay teachers their book and research allowance, else they will take a drastic decision. Now the book and research allowance is the cause of many protracted strike actions, and the association believes payment of the allowance is long overdue as its value keeps depreciating. We apologize for that technical hitch. We will bring you that story shortly, but let's go on the street to find out what Ghanaians are saying about the Afrobarometer report that had just come in.
Yes, I did that when I was driving trotro. That is what I used to do. Even at times I even put money in how do you call it, in a Bible. Even at times I have New Testament in a car, I will put money in it and I give it to them. They accept it. They draw the money and they give me my how do you call it, the Bible back. So it's the ordinary Ghanaian that did. I know the police.
I was using a motorbike and the police catch me. I didn't register the motor. I followed them to the police station, but then couldn't, as in, just in front of the police station, then collected the money from me. No. They are saying that they want to take me to the court because I'm driving on registered motor. I beg them that all the money that I have is 110, that is 1. They should take the 100 cedi so that I can take the 10 cedi to buy petrol and go my way.
I've given police money before, like I was on the motorbike and he stopped me and asked me that where's my helmet, and I said it's at home. Actually, he asked me to pay something. If not, you take me to the headquarters, and for that, I'm afraid. maybe that place will be worse. So I gave you 5 cedis.
Well, we all get caught up somehow along the line. Let's go back now to our earlier story about the polytechnic teachers who are threatening to take some drastic measures against government if their monies for book allowance and research allowances are not paid.
POTAC resolved as follows: that government should, as a matter of agency, pay the 2013-2014 academic year's book and research allowances, which led to the over 3 months protracted strike. The payment of the money is long overdue, and its value keeps depreciating each day and every day. POTAC would take the appropriate action if government fails to pay the money as a matter of agency.
Polytechnic lecturers say they have credible news that university lecturers have received their book and research allowance, so they consider delays in paying the allowance as an act of discrimination.
Some institutions, especially the universities, have been paid, but it is not formally reported to us. But if take it that is the case, then it will not be very fair. It is something like a divide and rule tactics, and if it is very real, we are not going to entertain that.
Students always bear the brunt of strike actions since their academic lives are always interrupted. So they want government to avert a possible strike by quickly meeting the demands of their teachers.
So if you're working, you're not being paid for what you're doing, then it's like you're being cheated. I'm a student, all right, yes, but if my father were to be a lecturer and he has not been paid, how would they pay my school fees for me to go to school? Yeah, so they have every right to take every necessary action. Even if they have to go for strike for years to get it, they have to do it. I'm in full support of the strike. Any action they will take, I'm in full support of it.
I think the government should pay them, because if they should go and strike again, I don't know what is going to happen. We don't know when they are coming back. So we are pleading with them to just answer whatever they want, to just pay them.
The association has refrained from giving a deadline of a possible strike, but they stated that they will not hesitate to walk out of their classrooms if government further delays the allowance. Latif Idrisus reports for Joy News.
And away from education, let's go to Parliament now, because a member of Parliament for Nkranza North and Deputy Ranking Member for Defence and Interior Committee of Parliament says Ghana's security institutions are collapsing as they incur more debt. The member was contributing to the debate on the financial policy for 2015, but was stopped by the Speaker from making further comment on the matter, saying Ghana's security matters must not be discussed in the public domain. Joy News' parliamentary correspondent Emmanuel Ante has the rest of the report.
The debate on the financial policy of government for 2015 is still ongoing on the floor of the House. Now, on Tuesday, Major retired Derek Odro, MP for Nkranza North, raised issues about the challenges concerning or affecting the security agencies of the country. But the Speaker intervened and says this matter needs to be discussed in chambers. Let's go back to the floor and see what really transpired. The second majority chief whip, Ahmed Ibrahim, raised a point of order when the Nkranza North MP, Derek Odro, raised the security services debt issue.
How much are they owing contractors, and which contractors are they owing? If he cannot, then he should withdraw.
The Speaker halted the Nkranza North MP from making further statements on matters bordering on national security.
You have time for us to look at the estimates of the various sector ministries. That is when we'll be looking at figures and all those things. At this stage, it is principles of the budget, the policy. So let's limit ourselves to the general policy of the budget. When we get to the figures, the allocations, those who are in debt, those who are not in debt, those who have cleared their debt, we will look at those things. Honourable members, I so you, and I so direct.
I don't know why somebody will feel ashamed if I mention that government is owing and the agencies are owing the contractors. Wait for the estimate, as said by the Speaker, and the estimates will come to support what I'm saying, that the agencies are owing contractors for food, they are owing contractors for medicine, owing contractors for almost everything.
Honorable Odro, please.
People are being owed That is a principle.
Honorable Deputy Minority Leader, we are all saying the same thing.
So,
what I'm saying is that yes, it may be there, but there will be an opportunity for this House to look at the estimates and maybe look.
The Defense Minister, Dr. Benjamin Kumbuo, disagreed and said the challenges being faced are normal.
We have financial challenges, but to put it in the manner in which he's putting it creates a lot of difficulties. And I think that he can go ahead and talk of the financial challenges that are common to all the MMDAs. But to mention the armed forces, he knows how his colleagues feel about matters like that.
The debate is expected to end on Wednesday, December 3. Still in Parliament, the Minister of Energy also appeared before the House to answer questions from members of Parliament. Questions from the MPs for Yagaba Kubori, Tano North and Manso Nkwanta were responded to by the Minister on when their constituencies will be connected to the national grid. Manolante, Joy News, Parliament, Accra.
Meanwhile, the MP for Nkranza North, Major Retired Derek Odro, has disagreed with the Speaker of Parliament's ruling that the challenges being faced by the security institutions be discussed in chambers. He spoke to Joy News' parliamentary correspondent Timon Alante after the debate.
A lot of them, in fact almost all of them, are owing contractors. This is no secret. The members of the police, prisons, fire service, immigration, all over, they all know that they are owing contractors. Contractors have threatened to send them to court for non-payment of their debt. Some have also stopped supplying all these services to the members of the security agencies. So that is no secret. We are saying that we are heckling me on the floor of Parliament that this is secret. What is secret about it? Why do they put it in the budget? The budget is not a secret document. And members of the security agencies have provided their budget. The areas that were not covered, the government was not able to provide. The releases that were not made to them have all been captured in their estimates. So what is secret about this one? People think that saying this is against the security. What security? We have to talk for them. We have to talk for them. They are suffering. Drugs are inadequate. Suppliers of drugs to military hospitals have stopped because they are owing contractors, the pharmaceutical companies who supply drugs to the military hospital, to police hospital, to other hospitals. So what is secret about this one? This is no secret. All that we need to know is that if we don't want all these things to be known to public, satisfy the people.
You're still watching the Primetime Bulletin here on Joy News on Multi TV and also on ABN TV across Europe. We'll take a breather. Please stay with us. Welcome back and many thanks for staying. Now, President John Mahama has for the first time spoken since he started his 3-day trip to Qatar. The president officially announced to the Ghanaian community in Doha a deal for direct flights from Doha to Accra. The country's biggest airline, Qatar Airlines, held discussions with the Ghanaian government, after which a direct flight operation deal between Doha and Accra was agreed upon. President John Mahama used the opportunity to tell the Ghanaian community there later in the evening what his government is doing in the aviation sector.
Aviation in Ghana is growing. We are improving the airport. We are going to build a new terminal in Accra. And as you know, we are building new domestic airports within Ghana. We're upgrading Kumasi Airport, we're upgrading Tamale Airport, and we're building mini airports, across the country.
Qatar Airlines will begin the direct daily flight to and from Accra early 2015. President Mahama described the move as one that will boost relations between the two countries.
Qatar Airways is starting a direct flight from Doha to Accra. And so you won't have to transit, through Dubai when you want to come home or you're coming back to work. And so for you, I'm sure that's the best news for those of you here. Now with Qatar Airways coming, there are all kinds of opportunities we can create together. And we had the chief executive of Qatar Airways, so we're discussing, how to develop a new modern airport, and use Ghana as a hub for aviation in West Africa.
Meanwhile, Qatar Petroleum International, a global oil giant, also held investment discussions with President John Mahama. The president is expected back home on Tuesday. The program's manager of Star Ghana, Ibrahim Tanko Amedu, has called on media houses to sustain projects carried out under the Star Ghana Grant Project. The 2 million grant awarded was to enable media houses carry out specific social intervention projects, as well as draw the attention of the relevant stakeholders to address the issues. Speaking at the end of the 13-month project review, he urged media houses to keep their projects running.
As part of key efforts in strengthening the media's role as change agents, Star Ghana awarded grants of $2 million to 21 media organizations in the country. The grant was to provide support for the media to work more effectively with other CSOs to enhance citizen advocacy for greater responsibility, accountability and responsiveness at all levels. The 13 months project embarked by the 21 media houses saw each media house carrying out a project ranging from environmental, health, education, law and general social issues.
Well, I think overall, I should say we are very impressed. When we started the journey 13 months ago, we knew the media had a capacity to raise the issues. The media had a capacity to get our leaders to respond. But we did not really realize the extent of the power of the media. And across the 23 projects that we are funding, you see examples of how the media has been able to enable the people in the most rural or deprived areas of this country to raise their voices. You've been able to bring to the attention of the whole country how some of our citizens live in areas where they do not have access to the basic services. And you've been able to get people, even at the highest levels of governance, to respond to the issues that we've raised. So overall, I think it's been very impressive. The diversity has been very wide, very rich, and that is where the power of the media call has been.
Multi-TV's Joy News under the project launched a Clean Community project, which exposed sanitation issues in the country and drew the attention of the relevant stakeholders to respond and address the issue raised by citizen journalists.
It's been a challenging and interesting journey where we have had to deal with 5 communities in 5 regions. Some of the communities, people were willing to work with you and others didn't want to work. And you eventually had to convince them to understand that you need to have a clean environment, that kind of thing. And we have had success stories over the period. In fact, the good thing is we've had success stories in all 5 communities, that is Bidim, Gumani, Adina, Kojokrum, and Kaklamaju here in the Greater Accra region. Clean communities, as you well know, we hope to work at conscientizing people to ensure that even after the 1-year period, they would still have that feel, they would own the sanitation situation in their environments. Now, the thing is that we don't intend to stop. Sanitation is a big issue. Sanitation is a big challenge. Joy News intends to tackle sanitation head-on, and we don't intend to stop.
Star Ghana has meanwhile hinted plans of a Star 2 project, which is expected to be rolled out in the coming years.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the Star Ghana Steering Committee, Professor Kilapa Sawyer, has called on the media to stop trivializing issues of national importance. He expressed worry at the current trend where due diligence is thrown to the gutters by a section of the media. He is also urging the media to be guided by principles of the profession, which focuses on issues that directly affects the interest and well-being of people.
I am distressed when I see the level of discussion of key public matters, the way matters are trivialized, politicized, the way people speak authoritatively about things they know nothing about. The way, as was said, simply report what was said, uninvestigated, unchecked, untested. Now, I'm sure the good work that is being done is more than the not so good work that is being done. What values, what norms are we creating for those who are coming up in the profession? Under the Constitution, you are entirely free to do your work. But I think the assumption is that your work will be guided by a concern for the fundamental values which ought to guide the practice of journalism.
Lecturer at the School of Communications Studies, University of Ghana, Professor Audrey Gajekpo, also called on the media to adopt self-regulation as a way of ensuring responsible journalism in the country. According to her, self-regulation would help bring back sanity to the practice.
It's been a tendency that undermines the quality of work that the media does. Journalists have to make a choice. They have to say that we are the ones who are the professionals. We're trained. We know what the professional ethos are in our profession. We want to transcend the limitations of the organizations in which we work. There are segments that are meant to entertain, but when it comes to news and serious news, that dichotomy has to exist. Otherwise, we can't bring about development and change in our country.
They were both speaking at the Star Ghana Media Learning event held in Accra.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Volta River Authority, Engineer Kirk Kofi, has charged staff of the authority to take the necessary preventive steps against infections which can lead to death. Acting Upper West Area Manager of the Volta River Authority, Smith Issa Dauda, made the call on his behalf on the occasion of VRA Safety Awareness Campaign. Rafiq Salam reports from WA.
The Safety Awareness Day under the theme Infection, Prevention and Control, Start with Your Environment, brought together all workers of the authority in the Upper West Region area. Infection prevention and control measures, according to the VRA Chief Executive Officer, are most effective when we apply standard healthcare precautions because undiagnosed infection is common.
Infections can be prevented from occurring in homes as well. To reduce their chances to contract infection, individuals are advised to maintain a good hygiene by washing their hands after every contact with questionable areas or bodily fluids and by disposing garbage at regular intervals to prevent germs from growing.
Engineer Kofi advised staff whose infections require personal protection equipment to always wear the specialized clothing or equipment for protection against hazards. The Upper West Area Coordinator for Work Area Safety Committee, Martin Ayimadu, said the safety of all staff is paramount for the VRA, which is why the authority has taken upon itself to observe the day. He said all staff of the company come together to reflect on what they are doing right or doing wrong so they can improve upon it.
This day actually conscientizes them to ensure that the day-to-day activity or the day-to-day principles of what they call safety should be actually remembered, so that in this particular aspect, you always observe what they do, the do's and don'ts in your day-to-day activities in the organization. So those staffs who are apathy in actually applying safety in their work, that those shortcuts and those things, it's the day that we call all of them to sit down and we assess ourselves either we are doing the right thing when it comes to safety of the way of what we call doing our what we call day-to-day activities.
Rafiq Salam's report from WA.
Now, Paramount Chief of Nandom Traditional Area, Na Dr. Charles Pori Pobi Chiri VII, has ordered his subjects to arrest and slaughter any stray animal, especially pigs, found roaming in the Nandom Traditional Area. Speaking at the climax of this year's Kakube Festival in Nandom, he warned owners of pigs to get a sty for the animals or risk them being captured by the Traditional Council. Rafiq Salam reports from Nandom.
Kabuki Festival, which is celebrated by the chiefs and people of the Nandom Traditional Area, was first celebrated in 1989, 4 years after Na Dr. Charles Pobi Chiri VII was enskinned as the paramount chief. The festival is celebrated to show gratitude to God and the family gods for a good harvest during the farming period and to ask for their continuous blessings and protections for a safer environment, rich soil and rain in the coming farming season. It is an occasion for family reunion as it brings together family members in and outside the country to deliberate on issues of importance to the family. However, for some, it is an occasion to show their spiritual powers as the live dogs are eaten raw to the surprise and bewilderment of all. This year's festival was under the theme, Peace and Unity in Diversity, a prerequisite for development, and brought together sons and daughters of the traditional area, people from other districts in the region, and a delegation from Burkina Faso. Na Dr. Charles Pouri Pobi Chiri VII, who also doubles as the president of Upper West Regional House of Chiefs, reminded the people that the law on bush burning was still in force, and they will deal with anybody who infringes on it.
We are again in the dry season, and that bush burning is strictly not allowed. The law is still enforced, and anyone caught burning the bush or felling trees indiscriminately will be dealt with and severely. I will not pity anybody. Even if you are my father or my one, I'll punish you. That one. And the PNC law on bushfires is still valid.
The Upper West Regional Minister, Amin Amidou Suleimani, who was speaking on behalf of the President, thanked the Nandom Na for his unyielding desire to ensure gender equality. On the issue of conflict in the region, and with reference to Fielimua and Niboro land conflict, he appealed to the feuding factions to give peace a chance.
There cannot be peace when people in one community, including pregnant women, are afraid to attend a shared health facility simply because they cannot trust the nurse at the clinic because he or she is suspected to be from the other tribe. And I'm aware that the conflict between the people of Fielmo and Nemoro is not a Dagaba-Sisala conflict, as some people want to have us believe. It is a land dispute between two communities that have coexisted peacefully for several decades, which could have been resolved within the Zini, that is the Buwa traditional area, using our long-tested traditional practices and norms. Please, let us give peace a chance.
The festival climaxed with an award to 13 sons and daughters from the tradition from the area who have distinguished themselves by their dedication, commitment and show of love for the continuous development of the area. The former Deputy Minority Leader in Parliament, Ambrose Derry, later in an interview with Joy News, gave his impressions about the festival.
For the festival, I think that we should expand it and we should be keen to establish landmarks for it. We are 26 years. Maybe the next thing we have to do is see if we can begin to put up for infrastructure or some targets. If we take education, what can we do? Why don't we establish a fund? In the absence of free education, we should begin to put money together to help our brilliant but needy students.
Rafiq Salam's report from Nando.
Young people in the Bunahafo region have been advised to channel their exuberance towards productive ventures such as farming. This according to the director of Gethsemane Rehabilitation Center in Jamai South District, Prophet Daniel Anso, will prevent them from indulging in illicit activities such as drug abuse and armed robbery. Correspondent Nesta Kafui Ajuma has more.
Anson, who has been engaging in several agricultural activities including fish farming, beekeeping, snail rearing, cultivation of coconuts, rice and cashew among others, said it is important for the youth to keep themselves busy in order to avoid being used by the devil. Proceeds from these farms are being used to cater for the needy and drug addicts who have opted for rehabilitation at Gethsemane Rehabilitation Center. Prophet Daniel Anso said he was not ready to be extorting money from people who need help from him, hence the establishment of the various farms. He therefore challenged extortionist men of God to emulate his example and desist from defrauding other people who needed both spiritual and financial assistance.
Business is next. In business tonight, industry players in the mining, quarrying and steel sectors will have to seek alternative mode of power supply to operate their businesses, as the Electricity Company of Ghana has cut power to that sector by 25%. Alternatively, industries located in residential areas will not be given any special respite in the ongoing load-shedding exercise, as they would have to deal with the planned outages for residential areas as well. It is estimated that over 80% of Ghanaian industries are located in residential areas.
Stakeholders in the mining sector, during an interaction with the media at a soiree organized by the Ghana Chamber of Mines, expressed their displeasure with the new directive by the Electricity Company of Ghana to extend the load-shedding programs to the industrial zones. For the CEO of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Suleimanu Kune, a low GDP growth will not allow the mining industry to flourish.
The government says, yes, we are in a difficult situation, we are not in normal times, and therefore, whilst we acknowledge that you have helped us over the years, we still want you to cut power to your plants. And that's a major challenge we have, because some of the companies don't even have standby generators on site. And knowing that this situation may occur in the future, they look at their risk profile and recognize that power may be an issue quite often in the future, and therefore we want to do this mine reserve plan for the future. Unfortunately, they have not been able to call on this mine reserve plans, and they've been asked to actually cut down, their power consumption. It may mean that the production would also be affected. This will also affect government revenue and even, purchases from suppliers and so on and so on, because effectively production would actually go down. So,
falling good prices on the global market for the CEO of the Minerals Commission will make things worse for the sector.
The mining industry has lots of vendors and suppliers within the supply chain, and the directive of the Bank of Ghana affected them so adversely, because immediately they were not allowed to invoice in forex, in US dollars, and they had to receive cedis. And with the depreciation, naturally it affected those businesses, and that naturally will come back to affect the companies as well, because if the company supplying the mine is unable to survive, then naturally the mining company would be so impacted. So yes, the environment is quite difficult for the country and for the mining industry. It's an expectation that things will improve in the future.
Dr. Tony Obin, meanwhile, is calling on mining companies to continue to take advantage of the current difficulties and work more closely to avert the industry from collapsing.
I also realize that this has presented an opportunity for the mining sector to work closely together. It's an opportunity for the operating companies and government to work closer. We need to be able to meet our minds in order to fashion out appropriate strategies to ensure that even in the face of a downward gold price, we still will get the benefit. I think that's very important. The price is important, but if you operate profitably, we still can make some benefit out of that.
some people there who are key players in the mining industry speaking there about the effects that power outages would have on their work. Now, Russian government has warned the economy will fall into recession next year as Western sanctions in response to its role in eastern Ukraine and falling oil prices begin to bite. Russia's Economic Development Ministry estimates the economy will contract by 0.8% next year. It had previously estimated the economy would grow by 1.2% in 2015. Russia's reliance on tax revenues from the oil industry makes it particularly sensitive to price movement. Household disposable incomes are also forecast to decline by as much as 2.8%, compared with a previous estimate that they would grow by 0.4%. The sharp revision in Russia's economic forecast is the first admission from the government that the economy will contract. On Monday, the ruble suffered its biggest one-day fall since 1998. The currency slid almost 9% against the dollar before rallying after suspected central bank intervention. The currency has already lost 40% in value this year. The Russian Finance Ministry has also not ruled out spending more than 500 billion rubles from the budget reserve fund next year. Japan's Nikkei closed at a fresh 7-year high on Tuesday as investor sentiment was buoyed by talk of the Bank of Japan buying stocks. The benchmark Nikkei 225 closed up 0.4% at 17,663.22 points. Earlier, the index had fallen after Moody's Investment Service cut Japan's credit rating by 1 notch to A1 from AA3. Moody's move underlined concerns over Japan's economy after an increase in the national sales tax was delayed. But analysts said the weaker yen, together with a possible move by the BOJ, was continuing to support investor sentiment. That's it for business news.
Let's do some sports now. We begin with boxing tonight, and former IBF welterweight champion Joshua Clottey has lashed out at the nation's leaders for failing to support the sport to regain its former glory. According to him, the failure on the part of these leaders to fulfill promises to the boxing community has made it practically impossible to produce successive world beaters. A frustrated Joshua Clottey spoke to Joy Sports.
It's fake promise, trust me, because I'm a fan of ex-president Kufuor. I'm a fan because when I won the world title, he was the president. He gave me a car. I'm a fan. But, you know, he promised that. But they never do anything and they left. The new people are here. President Mama is here. The same thing. That's what they do. They promise, but at the end of the day, they finish their term without building the gymnasium. We have a lot of football stadium. We need just one boxing gymnasium. It's not coming for a long time. They keep promising and failing. If I can see them face to face, I'll fight them all because they don't do the right thing. Boxing has produced 8 world champions. So we need one gymnasium because even the footballers, whatever they do, they won an African Cup long ago. They haven't won it, but they have a football stadium, many. We have world titles, 8 champions, but no gymnasium one. It's kind of very tough for us to understand. They need to do this thing.
Let's do some more boxing. And cruiserweight Barima popularly known as Bukum Banku, has debunked claims he has stalled a possible fight with US-based Bastille Samer because he fears losing his unbeaten record. Samer, who trains and spars with the undefeated pound-for-pound king Floyd Mayweather, has called the bluff of Banku. And with the process of securing the fight delaying, it's been widely rumored Banku is deliberately avoiding Bastille. But Banku has laughed off such claims.
Oh, Bastille don't be everybody, master. Master, if Ghanaian say Bastille fight and he's training for Mayweather, I'm training for Ikwote before. I'm training for Joshua Clottey before. Hey, well, This is no matter. That they take money before they fight, and people say, the people say, "Buko Banku they fear." I'm still there, Ghana. You say I they fear. I'm travel. I'm not travel. I'm there for my nation. You say, but still no be everybody. That problem is that I know the fight. It be money matter because of my manager and McDonald. And they know, oh, if somebody say Buko Banku, I will take this money. Oh, calm down small. And the money is too much. It's my work. I say I go take this money. Me, I eat the powers that they fight the big of nation fight. I don't get anything. We need a house in the Legon, like Joshua got to go Legon. I still there call Legon. Why? I want to go Legon. So I say I will take 1.8 billion. I'm not a fool. No, I'm not fear. Master, I go fear Basti for what? Basti be small. I go fear Basti for what? I'm not fear. Yes. All the journalists say you know good fight off outside. They be a Ghana, they be a Ghana. Now I say I'm not fight with that. I will travel. And you Ghanaians say I dey fear. I don't understand that journalists they call me. You dey fear but you dey if I go radio station, people tell me Buko Banku all the time you fight in Ghana. I say I will go to fight international. I don't fight with Ghana again. And I go to fight international when somebody come to fight me in the same Ghana and you tell me I dey fear. Why nonsense with that? I this is a nonsense. It's a nonsense talking. Master, me, I have the mental problem before. I don't fear anything. I swear. If somebody say me, I dey fear Basi, come and bet. Master, come and bet. Master, me I had bad spirit. I had bad spirit working about me. If somebody say he go fight me, that man your speech. You know, Basi go radio station to Yob. He want people they know him.
Really don't get tired talking and listening to this chap. Well, we'll find out what happens between that. It's certain that bout might come on later in December. We'll see. Now let's quickly run by you what's happening in terms of scores. There are games ongoing in the Premier League. Manchester United and Liverpool polling this. We'll have that on your screen and we go through that. Burnley drawing 1-0 with Newcastle. Liverpool drawing 1-0 with Leicester City out there. Adam Lallana getting a goal in there. But there have been 2 goals scored by Liverpool, 1 against them and 1 for themselves. Simeone Mignoli actually got the goal as well. Manchester United drawing 1-0 with Stoke City. Fellaini on target and Nzolzi getting the equaliser for them. Swansea City drawing goalless with Queen's Park Rangers. Crystal Palace are losing 1-0 to Aston Villa. And West Ham United are leading West Brom by 2-1. We can get into the Spanish Copa del Rey and their games ongoing in there. Real Madrid particularly have managed to win by 5-0 and there's part to add. James Rodriguez has a hat-trick in this one and it's going good for him in the particular game. Javi Hernandez as well. It's been +1, hat-trick +1, so up to 4 goals there. And that's the result on your screen. We get into the Coppa Italia. And Lazio beat Varese by 3-0. Sassuolo leading Pescara by 1-0. Hellas Verona also beat Perugia by 1-0. That's your sport. Gipsy joins us with some more. Have a good night.
Time now for some showbiz. Well, during the recent Buzz Awards, dancehall artist Shatta Wale told the gathering that he has not taken photographs on a stage like the Buzz Awards stage, and so he wanted one for his gallery. Well, check out how he did this.
Before he will settle for his memorable picture on the so-called stunning Buzz Awards stage, Shatta Wale promised he would do anything to protect the Buzz Awards concept.
But if you be dancehall awards, I swear I will kill you for dancehall awards. If in my life, this is what we are fighting for. I beg if you get phone, make you take me picture small, because me I not take picture plus award for stage like this before. So today take me picture. Make people take me picture. Cameraman, give people where they take picture. Put that for. You know your name, my name is bring her. Bring her. Make you know they hate me. If you hate your family people, if you them they do, not be me. But if they hate me, I swear, if you this kind of things they see, you know go back. All the artists where they stop hating me and things, they don't want to support me and things. If you say they will see, that be called the work. Yeah, hold on for me.
But whilst he was doing this, the crowd went wild for whatever reason and started hurling objects onto the arena of the show. This prompts the showbiz team to ask if it does not remind Ghanaians of May 9. Do Ghanaians have such a short memory, especially at the Accra Sports Stadium, where the memories of 129 people who lost their lives during a football match still lingers on? Well, I leave you to be the judge.
That's it for Showbiz.